our beautiful Eunice, all the way from South Africa, our Nimue international educator, joining us today to talk about our age intelligent Nimue range and how to stay younger for longer. Over to you, Eunice.
Thank you so much, Lydia. So there's a lot of talk about aging and staying younger for longer. And when I was thinking of this topic and of thinking how Nimue assists me and assists the public, I first wanted to say, please help. I'm aging. And I think everybody feels that way. And you don't have to be over 50 to feel that way. Sometimes clients in their 30s and 40s also feel like they're suddenly starting to age. The first thing that comes to mind when we think of am I aging or I am aging is it must be my hormones. There must be something wrong with my hormones. And yes, there is something wrong usually with your hormones. But we also have to, before we talk about that, and just mention the three chemical reactions that takes place in our bodies and in our skins that contribute to aging as well. And that is ROS. And we all know what ROS is. Usually ROS is stimulated by the environment, by the sun, and then of course glycation that we have to focus on as an aging nation, aging client, specifically in the diet, eating too many bad sugars in the diet, and what it does to your skin and to your collagen production and the effect it has, and then the activation of MMPs. And I mentioned, Lydia, we have just done a lovely presentation on MMPs because it's something we know about and talk about, but that really has a very harmful effect on the skin and an aging client. But let's go back to the hormone part. What are hormones? It's chemical messengers. So we all have that, men, women, children, we all have hormones in our bodies, and they have an effect on our aging process. They are produced in organs such as ovaries, adrenal glands, in your thyroid gland, and they have different purposes and different effects on our bodies. They affect growth and development. They affect metabolism. They affect sexual function. They affect reproduction, the mood, and the aging process. Now, often when we start to look at a client's skin and we see aging signs, we see lack of elasticity, we see lines and wrinkles, crow's feet, etc. We do associate it a bit with hormone dysfunction. This often occurs in puberty, in pregnancy, and menopause. I have a very cute friend that always says, aging starts the day you're born, which is actually quite true. We just don't think about it that way. Now, a hormone imbalance will depend obviously on your hormones, your estrogen, your progesterone, and the androgens in your body. That then has an effect on the skin. And estrogen in women plays a very important role. It maintains hydration, and we know how important a well-hydrated skin is to delay the signs of aging. We want to look at the skin's ability to function properly so that we can increase collagen and elastin production, help to maintain epidermal thickness, help to maintain the blood circulatory system of the skin. It also has an effect on an increase in hyperpigmentation, this amazing hormone that we need, and it regulates your hair phase system, your anagen-telogen system or phases in the hair. Thyroid hormones has a very big effect on the aging process as well. So if you have a low thyroid hormone, we call it hypothyroidism. And if you have a high hormone, thyroid hormone, it's hyperthyroidism. And they have a direct effect on the skin and what the skin appears like. And often when we think we are aging, it's possibly just a hormone imbalance that contribute to this aging. It can even lead, if you have low thyroid hormone, to brittle nails, a decrease in sweating, where your high thyroid hormone often makes the skin more oily. Your hair actually, your nails become soft and crumbly. And if you have a high thyroid hormone, You could even suffer from hair loss, alopecia. Now, menopause is that other time when women really start to focus on the aging process and start to see severe changes in the skin literally overnight. And that is due to the hormones. It's due to a decrease in estrogen and progesterone, an imbalance in that levels that could lead to an increase in tyrosinase activity, meaning your client will see more hyperpigmentation. And then, of course, collagen production and quality decreases. Your androgens can increase, increase in sebaceous activity. So many things are triggered by your hormones. And menopause is a very difficult time for a woman when they start to show signs of aging. So when I go have a client that goes through menopause and starts to see drastic aging signs, I know that it is a trigger for environmental damaged skin. It's a trigger for hyperpigmented skin, and it's a trigger for problematic skin. Looking at your menopausal client where your aging is your main focus, we have to realize that perimenopause, clients don't even know they've maybe started menopause. We start to see an increase in acne and sebaceous activity, hot flushes, vascular activity, water imbalance. We need to add more pre and post serum to their daily routines to keep the hydration levels and your biolipid levels healthy. And then, of course, we've got the clients where they start perimenopause and menopause, and where there's a distinct decrease in collagen and elastin, a distinct reduction in moisture, and a decreased activity in your sebaceous gland. You even see a delayed wound healing. And I never believed that, Lydia, but I'm now started in menopause. And if you have a little cut on your skin, a paper cut, usually by the next day it's gone, you don't even know or remember it. Now it takes a day or two to heal. So it really has a very big effect on the skin and uneven pigmentation. I had to put this little visual here because when I started to do this research, I saw this and I thought, I wonder which one I am, and realized I'm all 7 menopausal dwarfs. So with menopausal skin, what you will see with this client is more hair on her face and less hair on her head. And just a little thing to throw in here, what we've noticed during COVID, or people that had COVID, is that they also have hair thinning. We don't yet know if it comes growth increases or returns to before, but that's also noticeable. And then your hormone levels obviously make your skin dry and slow in reaction. We have to remember that as a client ages, her body makes less collagen. The elasticity levels drop. There's loss of fat under the skin. And we see this on the client around the eyes, the neck, the jawline, and of course, the cheeks. Unwanted hair on her chin, on her jawline, and on her lips. Rashes that develop, that never developed on these clients. This is also a time where you could possibly see a change from, say, an environmentally damaged skin to an interactive skin for a while. And when we focus on our AI range, you'll see that it's specific, really relating to a client that goes through menopause as well, that can have use a really advanced anti-aging product while they have this problem. And then your skin becomes significantly thinner. What you will also notice in your salons is your menopausal clients will arrive perfectly normal and suddenly, while lying on the bed, have a hot flush. And you might just have applied the thermal detox peel. So you can imagine the experience with a thermal detox peel that warms up the skin and a client having an internal hot flush. Now, it affects everybody. So just make your client calm and at ease, and just talk her through the treatment, and those won't have any negative effects together should you experience anything like this. An interesting fact is that women loses 30% of its collagen during the first 5 years of menopause. And after that, it luckily becomes a little more gradual, where you lose about 2% every year for the next 20 years. Now, if I think of the first 5 years after menopause, according to research, menopause hits most women between the age of 50 and 52, meaning you're still young and you're going to degenerate in collagen production quite rapidly by the time you're 55, 56. So it's really a time where, as therapists, we can start to make a big difference in our skincare ranges with our clients. Then, of course, with the collagen, you'll see a loss in firmness, sagging, jowls appearing. And an interesting thing that I'm not looking forward to is the tip of the nose starts to dip and pouches appear under the eyes and lack of firmness. Now, over and above menopause, over and above hormones, we have to consider intrinsic aging, extrinsic aging, and changes in your dermis, bringing us to the concept of lifestyle, life story, hormones, and all those factors that contribute, and the rationale behind us launching the AI solution of quite a few years ago. When we launched this, the focus was why? Why, if Nimue has amazing anti-aging products, why have a range focusing on anti-age? Because we started to look at the client. We started to look obviously at the chronological aging process, but also considering where she is in her life hormonal level. And remember, a client can go through menopause at 40, at 38. It depends, every person's unique. The life story, how do they experience life? What have they gone through? Have they suffered tremendous traumas in their life? Have they had amazing life experiences? Their lifestyle, where do they spend their day? In an air-conditioned office, outside in the sun and wind? Can they afford good skincare or not? And of course, environmental exposure, the sun, pollution, wind, etc. So we wanted, with this range, to look at the bigger picture of what a person goes through in the aging process. You will remember when we launched this range, ladies, that we looked at consumer studies and studies that was done on twins with different lifestyles, life stories, environmental exposures, coming from the same gene pool. So genes have an effect on how you age, but your environment, your hormones, your life story and lifestyle has an even bigger effect on the skin. So the study and the philosophy that the AI range is focused on is the study of omics. Now, in biology, if a word ends with omics, such as genomics, transcriptomics, proteomics, then it means that the determining factors was based on biological studies and looking at the changes in skin, the causes of the changes, and how we can act on it. So omics defined, we looked at genomics, we looked at what happens in your cell DNA when your hormones change, when aging starts to take place. We looked at transcriptomics, your RNA, your messenger system. What is more probable that's going to happen in the skin when you age? And then, of course, proteomics, your proteins in the skin, your keratin, your elastin, your collagen. What happens in those processes as we age? And metabolomics, the functions of the skin, the functions of how our skin reacts and our skin heals. So what we wanted to do with the DNA focus, we wanted to give the client a skin that looks younger for her age. You can never look 20 again if you're 50, but you can look good for your age. We wanted to repair the cell DNA. If we looked at the gene pool, we wanted to give the cell greater longevity. We want with Nimue to restructure the functioning of the cell. And if we look at the genome of the skin, we want to give ingredients that can stimulate cell communication and have an effect on environmental control. So we had to look at all of these aspects, lifestyle, life story, and environmental factors. We had to look at specific formulations that's going to work on the biological studies of why we age, so that we can have an overall skin improvement, so that we can empower our customers to have a more age-intelligent approach to the skin aging process. What I want to throw in here is women. And I look at this age group, 45 plus. I actually want to lower it slightly to, I would say, 40 plus, or if they start with menopause or severe aging due to their lifestyle and story, even younger. But those of you that are not 40 yet, you will see a big change happening in your life when you turn 40, and even more so at 50. Women don't like to be told what to do. And when you're 40 and 50, you have really played the game for all these years. You've done what was expected of you. And we have found that if you tell a woman in her 40s, 50s to stop smoking, she will possibly say something mean to you and ignore you. If you tell a woman of that age, please don't have a glass of wine every night, only once a week, she will possibly curse you and say, I'll do what I want. If you tell a woman that's going through menopause to relax, I dare you, because nothing much will be left of you. So women of this age group don't want to be told what to do. They want to be given solutions for their lifestyle and life story. So we considered that. We considered this patient will usually have a severely environmentally damaged skin or wants to avoid getting the skin. Dryness, dehydration is often evident, wrinkles, loss of elasticity, sagging skin, all those signs you listened to and heard when we spoke about a menopausal and an aging skin. So this formulation, what makes it so unique is its amazing delivery performance. It has a dual delivery system that really gets the ingredients where we want it to work. It provides DNA protection, which then obviously provides cell longevity. It has a wonderful restructuring effect on the skin, superior environmental control, plus remember what contributes to aging? Glycation. It has a deglycation effect on the skin, great cell communication ability, hydration, barrier repair, which we really need first and foremost with an aging skin. Plus, it prevents, very importantly, carbamylation. And carbamylation is that process that's responsible for collagen 1 degradant on AI. I would look at a menopausal client. I would look at an aging client, a premenopausal client, or a client due to the lifestyle, life story, environmental damage, gene pool, shows premature signs of aging. I want to decrease wrinkle depth. I want to improve that texture and that surface uniformity. I want to have a visible lifting effect on a sagging skin. That way I can increase elasticity and firmness. And what we often see is a mottled effect of pigmentation on an aging client. So I want to create luminosity, smoothness and softness, and of course, that very important collagen 1, restructure that protein function in the skin. So Omics is based on 3 main actives, and the focus is on the 3 actives when we talk about AI. And these Omics-based actives is in every AI product, in chicory root, in hydrolyzed myrtle leaf extract, and of course, calendula flower extract. Now, some of these extracts you must have heard of, and you possibly say, oh, Eunice, I know calendula flower. I've heard of this one or that one. So what makes it different now? It's the extraction technique. So how the scientists extract that active from the source of the active is different. That molecule of the active that we source now is a single pure molecule, not combined with any other formulation or not combined in a similar extraction method, but a unique method. It's scientific methods of ingredient efficacy that we can rely on now. And then, of course, having to look at a really great delivery system. So what does chicory root do? It acts like vitamin D. Vitamin D production, we know that most people will have a shortage of vitamin D in the skin. And we always say, but in Australia, New Zealand, and South Africa, we have enough sunshine for the world. We get out enough in the sun, but do we? We wear a sunblock. We wear protective clothing. So we don't often have enough vitamin D production. And in aging, this has a huge effect on the skin. So what we want to do is put an ingredient in the skin that's going to act like vitamin D, that's going to restore that function of the receptor of the vitamin D. And this means we can increase the barrier function by using this ingredient. Now, if I use chicory root, we know that vitamin D is affected by age, by the intensity of UV, by seasonal change, by wearing clothes and sunscreens, as I've said. So how does this work? It's going to act on the cell DNA, on the natural DNA repair, creating that perceived appearance of a younger looking skin. So what we focused on was the study of chicory root on the DNA influence of lifestyle and story. We remembered that your DNA is affected by the limited sun exposure, less vitamin D production. So we require an active that is going to penetrate the skin to act like vitamin D perception in the skin and repair the DNA. And that is what we achieve with chicory root extract. The second Omics ingredient is hydrolyzed myrtle leaf extract, and this one is focusing on cell longevity, on restructuring, on reducing those signs of aging, on increasing cell communication in the skin to preserve that appearance of younger looking skin. And this is the ingredient that has that anti-glycation effect on the collagen. Now, glycation breaks down collagen in the skin, and this reverses that effect. What is glycation? What affects glycation in the skin? And it's usually clients that have, and often happens during the aging process, less sleep, problems sleeping, stress, unhealthy diet, too many sugars. So what now happens is those sugars break down the proteins in my skin, which is collagen. And what we want to create is an anti-glycation effect so that we can have cell longevity and, of course, restructuring. So if we look at the study, we wanted to focus our hydrolyzed myrtle leaf extract on the changes in the genes that's caused by glycation. This changes obviously will cause wrinkling. So we want to reduce that cell communication that causes a wrinkle effect. We required a specific active that will work specifically on those effects of glycation in the skin, preserving your skin's youthfulness. And our third Omics active is calendula flower. And this is our beautiful anti-aging benefit. So it combats those awful harmful effects that are caused by the environment and epigenetic changes that takes place in your skin, increases elasticity and tone, it smooths micro relief on the skin, and this also gives your surface, excuse me, that uniformity. Now, epigenetics, we look at our skin aging due to lifestyle and environment, and of course, we have to understand that what happens in a client's life have an effect on how she ages, and we want to be able to help the body and the skin to adapt better to stress or limit the effect of stress on the skin. So here we wanted to create an effect on environmental control and cell communication. So in this study, we wanted to look at the changes that happens in the epigenome that was caused by the environment. We wanted to focus on the loss of elasticity and skin tone. So we needed an active that's going to help my skin control environmental factors, increase elasticity, collagen synthesis leading to a smoother skin. We have some secondary ingredients, of course, and just two that I want to mention, as they are in all of the products, is our colloidal platinum and acetyl tetrapeptide 17. So here we have conjugated the two ingredients. So we have our anti-aging, anti-wrinkling effect, a collagen boosting peptide that we have combined with my platinum particles. So what happens is, in the synergy, it's a selective peptide for selective activity, and together it gives the peptide absolute stability in this combination and bioavailability, and we can focus now on a higher peptide percentage safely applied topically on the skin. So these two conjugated ingredients is what has a significant reduction in the wrinkle appearance, an increase in collagen and elastin, a long and short-term increase in elasticity and hydration. In our eye serum, there is one of my favorite ingredients that we don't focus on enough, and it's our Sorghum by Color Stalk Juice. It really provides immediate micro lifting and an immediate tightening. And you must still show me the client that does not want, when there's signs of aging, to have an immediate effect around the eyes. I mentioned the delivery system. So here we looked at polarized water, which helps those actives to basically come in line, work together, have an even penetration on application area in a liposomal vesicle. I always say to clients, the polarized water system reminds me of a bunch of crazy kids at school, where it's break time and they run around like crazy ones, and the teacher comes out and says, okay, that's it, in a line, stand neatly, hands behind your back, and walk into the room. That's to me what polarized water does to the active ingredients. So this combined hybrid system, it improves the activity of these actives. So this gives it stability, hardly any irritation. There's no irritation, in my opinion. And of course, what do we want to do with a delivery system is reach the target site. So it helps to enhance the penetration of the actives. Polarized water, giving that even distribution on the skin, putting it in a nice even consistency, releasing it into the cell core. And I love the liposomal vesicles because it really has the ability to penetrate where I want it into the deeper layers, and of course, improve stability and reduces irritation. So in a summary, our AI Day Cream, a lovely day cream to be used every morning, slows down that aging process. And of course, we've got our active ingredients, chicory root, myrtle leaf, and calendula, our omics ingredients, in a lovely hybrid delivery system, giving your client lifting, firming, and a reduction on lines and wrinkles. The same active ingredients are in the AI night cream. Of course, how does a day and night cream differ? Your night cream always have higher percentages of actives, because when the skin is at rest at night, it's when all the work takes place in your cells, and that's when you can very effectively apply higher percentages, and it will contribute even more to a reduction in lines, wrinkles, and skin fatigue. The face serum, omics ingredients, but we've added acetylated glucuronic acid, really superior ingredients to increase elasticity, but to have a significant effect in the decrease of the wrinkle depth of the skin. And you can apply this twice a day. The AI eye serum, it's my absolute favorite eye serum because of the omics ingredients, but because we've added Sorghum by Color Stalk. So I know it's going to help with the lines and wrinkles, but it gives me that instant lifting effect, nourishing my skin. And it has an effect on puffiness and dark circles, which we also often notice more on our aging clients. Now, some of you will say, but Eunice, long ago you had an AI cleanser, and we discontinued the cleanser, but I prefer what we've added now, because you still need your bit of your acid. You still need your Nimue unique acid formulation for cleansing and for desquamation and for highlighting the effects on the skin. So the Nimue cleansing gel or cleansing gel light, because our AI range can be used on an environmental damaged client as well as on an interactive skin. And what did we see earlier? An interactive skin can develop during menopause. So ideal for both. And then you will just alternate or change cleansing gel to cleansing gel light, conditioner or conditioner light. So you use that exactly the same. You could still incorporate pre and post serum. You can incorporate any of your TDSs, your SPF 40, Environmental Shield 50, your anti-aging leave-on mask, your thermal flash peel, basically any of the support products available, active lotion and gel. I've highlighted that, slow approach. So the same as with any other skincare protocol, first be on Nimue and for about 4 to 6 weeks and on AI before you introduce your active, same process. And then the wipes I've put separately because I can, remember, introduce the wipes from phase 1 on certain clients. You can do any treatments on a client that's on AI. Of course, not if she's on AI because she's interactive. So you will slowly and gradually integrate your more active treatments. You will follow exactly the same protocols of treatment introduction to this client. And of course, the world is your oyster with your Nimue treatments. Thank you very much for the opportunity to highlight with you again our wonderful AI products and for allowing me to share this with you, Lydia. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Eunice. That was an excellent presentation. Now I know why you called it an age intelligent range. It's a very intelligent and sophisticated range.
Very intelligent.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Oh, you're
I will
brilliant.
catch up with all of you again in the future, and blessings to everybody during this COVID time.
Bye, Eunice.